Good morning and welcome to my channel and the pod. Today, I wanted to talk about one of the frameworks that I use to help my clients, and it's called a VPS, like VPS, like GPS, like how GPS helps you to find where you're going. The VPS model helps you to figure out where to go as far as your purpose. And VPS stands for values, passion, strengths. And today I just wanted to talk about the values portion of that. And what I found fascinating about values is I remember a coach or a mentor asking, like, what do you value? Or what are your values? And immediately, like, I got to jotting down all of this stuff, and I'm like, I value this, I value that, I value this. And it all looked good and it sounded good too. And then when I really realized what I was writing down, it was like, no, what do you value? And I started to look at my life as a whole. And I'm looking at my finances and I'm looking at my relationships and I'm looking at things and I'm like, well, I say I value this, but that is not how I'm living. And I started to go through things like what I'm reading and, going through my journals and what am I writing down. And I noticed that with other people too. Like when I noticed it in myself, I started to realize that we do have a set of values, but a lot of us, we just don't live them. Like sometimes we value something like honesty, but we're not as honest as we could be. We value loyalty, and we're not as loyal as we could be. Um, we value things that we want to experience with other people, right? You want people to be open-minded, right? Especially when it comes to you. You want people to be open-minded, but when you look at it, are you, right? Again, the loyal, the honesty, you want people to be great listeners. Like, I think we value things that we personally would like to see when we're dealing with people. And I think sometimes I think we just all struggle. I think we can all struggle with, number one, knowing what our values are, actually living in those values, and our blind spots where we're not seeing that certain things that we're talking about, oh, these are my values. That's not how we're living at all. Um, and I think one of the best ways to know what you value and know if you're embodying that value or not is sometimes in the people that you admire, right? Like for me, I look at, of course, women, not just Black women, just women in general who put themselves out there, who show up, right? Who show up, who help, kind, um, innovative, ones who embody their own power, who create their own world and help people in that way. And I noticed for a lot of years that I follow women like that. I read their books and all of this stuff. And I'm like, I want to do that, right? I want to be that chick. And when I looked around at how I was conducting life, how I was living life, it was something that I just looked at, right? I was not that. I was not embodying those values, right? I wasn't embodying stepping out there and, the courage, like being courageous and being enterprising and taking control over my own life and seeking out my own purpose and actually living in it, right? I just admire that. Like, I know exactly what I value. I think it's just sometimes hard for us to embody them ourselves because maybe we've never done it before. And I just want to challenge you to, number one, write down what you think you value. Write down what you think you value. Go onto your For You pages anywhere, uh, TikTok, YouTube, and it will show you what you intake, what you value, what comes up, like whatever's on your timeline. And it's not to judge, it's just go through there, start at the top, right? And it'll show you what, not only what you're interested in, it'll also show you what you value. And we don't, again, it's usually done, it's not done consciously. We're just attracted to what we're attracted to, and we take in what we take in, and we're not thinking about it as we're taking it. We're just kind of like experiencing it. And I think that's a good place to look. And when I talk about passions, when I make another video about our passions, it's the same thing. Like, you go to your For You page anywhere and you can see what kinds of things pop up for you. And whether or not you like it, it's not about whether you like it or not. It just is what it is. And then another thing is, look at people that you admire and write down 5 of their characteristics that you are drawn to, right? If it's their kindness, if it's that they show a lot of gratitude, if they're very disciplined, if they're patient, caring, if they're inclusive, right? If they're peaceful, right? If they take up space, if they are funny, if they are compassionate, just those kinds of things. Like, what is it about them that you admire so much? And it's not saying that you want to be them or you want to be everything like them. There's something there that I feel like, for me, it's a desire for you to embody, right? And I know that because if I list 5 things about, people that I admire, and I can see where I'm like, I want that for myself. Not everything, but some things I really, really want for myself. And I'm like, I want to learn how to embody that. And I think it's just sometimes a conscious effort of, first of all, figuring out your values, reviewing them, keeping them as you want, and also just the daily embodiment of what you value, and living in that way and living in that truth. And that is all that I have for today. Thank you so much for tuning in. Click the circle on my face, or I'm not sure where you're watching this at or listening to this at. Please review, subscribe, share, and thank you so much for your time. Bye.